I used to believe that love, once found, was permanent, that when someone looks you in the eye and says, "I love you," there's a sacred weight behind those words. I believed in that until I discovered how wrong I was. My name is Rachel Donovan. I'm 33 years old, a high school English teacher living in Portland, Oregon. I met my fiancé, Caleb Evans, 4 years ago at a local poetry slam. He had the kind of presence that pulled attention. Tall, with sandy blonde hair, steel blue eyes, and a quiet confidence that made you want to lean in closer. He was a freelance photographer who traveled often, which I thought was exciting, until it became the perfect excuse. For 3 years, we lived together in a cozy loft apartment, shared Sunday mornings at the farmer's market, and talked about our dreams like we lived them together forever. He proposed on a rainy night in March, on the rooftop of our building, under a canopy of string lights. I said yes through tears, never imagining those tears would one day fall for a very different reason. At first, it was nothing. Missed calls. A sudden change in his phone habits. He started sleeping with his phone under his pillow. The trips grew more frequent. Last-minute assignments, he said. Fashion week in L.A., an elopement shoot in Mexico, a mountain wedding in Colorado. I wanted to trust him. I did trust him. But the space between us kept growing. Then came the late-night texting. One night, I woke up at 2 a.m. to use the bathroom and found him in the living room, phone in hand, lit up by the screen's glow. When he saw me, he jumped and quickly locked the screen. "Work stuff," he said, his voice tight. Couldn't sleep. Something shifted in me that night, a crack in the foundation I didn't want to acknowledge. I never want to be that woman, snooping through a partner's phone, second-guessing their every word. But curiosity, especially when it's fueled by gut instinct, is a relentless thing. A week later, while he was in the shower, I gave in. He had changed his passcode. That stung more than I expected. But I remembered he once used his sister's birthday as a pin. I tried it, and it opened. There they were. Messages. Dozens of them. Not just one woman. 2. One named Leah Redheart, and another named Save. Photos, too. Hotel room selfies. A kiss caught mid-laugh. A dinner menu scribbled with "Miss you already. Can't wait for next weekend." I remember sitting on the edge of the bed, the phone heavy in my hands, my chest hollow. Everything went still. Then the anger came, hot and consuming. I didn't confront him immediately. No screaming match. No throne glass. I needed to be smart. I needed proof. Undeniable, public, final. I screenshotted everything and sent the evidence to my private email. I created a secret folder, a plan forming in the fog of my fury. Then I reached out to someone I never thought I'd contact. Save. Turns out, she didn't know about me either. We talked, awkwardly at first, then honestly. She was a nurse, lived 2 states away, and had been dating Caleb for 7 months. He told her I was his ex and that we were figuring things out. The audacity was breathtaking. Leah, the other woman, was harder to reach, but Instagram told me enough. A tag post from 2 weeks ago showed Caleb with his arms wrapped around her on a pier, captioned, "My forever adventure partner." Forever, huh? Our engagement party was scheduled for the first Saturday in May. He wanted a rooftop event with close friends and a slideshow of our journey together. That gave me the perfect opportunity. I didn't cancel the party. Instead, I made my own slideshow. The guests arrived, smiling, sipping champagne. Caleb was charming, as always, kissing my hand, whispering in my ear. I smiled back, ice beneath the surface. When it was time for the surprise presentation, I took the mic. Before we toasted love, I said, I want to share a few moments from the journey Caleb and I have taken together, and the one he's taken with some other women, too. The room shifted instantly. The projector lit up. At first, it was sweet, a photo of us on the beach, a goofy one from our first Christmas. Then it turned, a selfie of him and Save in bed, a shot of a flirty text exchange with Leah. Last night was incredible. Same time next week. A video clip of him saying, "You're the only one who gets me," to someone who definitely wasn't me. The silence was thunderous. Caleb stood frozen, jaw slack, eyes darting like a cornered animal. I found out 2 weeks ago, I continued, and I decided I wouldn't let this betrayal rot me from the inside. I wanted everyone to see what lies behind that charming smile. Save had shown up too, standing at the back of the room. When Caleb saw her, his face drained completely. She raised her glass to me, then walked out. I moved out 2 days later. Caleb tried calling. Dozens of times. Left voicemails. Wrote emails. He even showed up at my school once, but the office turned him away. There were no explanations I wanted to hear. He didn't just cheat on me. He humiliated me, lied to multiple women, and wore love like a costume. I wasn't going to be another woman who stood by her man while he tore her down in secret. I took a solo trip to the Oregon coast. For the first time in months, I slept soundly. I walked barefoot in the sand, drank too much coffee, and wrote in my journal every night. It wasn't healing all at once. It came in waves. Some days I still woke up angry, sad, hollow, but I was waking up alone, and that was better than waking up in lies. 6 months later, I'm not the same woman who stood beside Caleb on that rooftop. I'm stronger, wiser, fiercely protective of my peace. The betrayal nearly broke me, but in exposing it, I uncovered something else myself. The version of me who doesn't apologize for demanding honesty, who doesn't accept love with conditions and secrets. And the next time someone tells me they love me, I'll listen, but I'll also watch, and I'll never ignore my instinct again. 6 months passed. I moved on mostly. Therapy helped. Travel helped more. I had changed jobs, moved to a new apartment, and even started dating again, cautiously this time. But something still tugged at me, a quiet voice that whispered. He got off too easy. You see, Caleb didn't disappear into the shadows like most disgraced cheaters. No, he rebranded. On social media, he painted himself as a wounded creative, claiming I'd humiliated him out of jealousy. He gained followers, clients, sympathy. He even started dating again, publicly, with none other than Nya. And that's when the fire reignited in me. I wasn't bitter. I was focused. I created a new Instagram account, anonymous, sharp, and strategic. I called it Exposed by the Lens and began posting a curated series of Caleb's lies, complete with receipts, screenshots, voice notes, date overlays showing he was with 3 women at the same time. I never used my name, never showed my face, but the post went viral. Photographers who'd worked with him messaged the account with their own horror stories, how he ghosted clients, took deposits, and never delivered, even flirted with brides during weddings. It became a digital bonfire. His reputation? Ashes. Clients dropped him. His agent dropped him. Sponsors cut ties. Leah? Gone. She messaged the page privately and said, simply, I wish I had listened to my gut. Thank you. And me? I didn't say a word. Not publicly. Not to him. I let the silence roar louder than any confrontation ever could. One afternoon, I passed him on the street in downtown Portland. He looked smaller, thinner, tired. We locked eyes for only a moment. He opened his mouth to speak. I smiled, walked right past him, and never looked back. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But mine? It was served elegantly, with facts, finesse, and just enough fire to leave a mark. Caleb taught me what betrayal felt like, but I taught him what consequences look like. Now I write my own story. And this time, I make sure the heroine never gets fooled twice.